Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Give you guys a couple seconds to come on into the room. Good morning, Kareem.
Morning. How you doing today?
I am good.
How was the weekend?
Was good.
I mean,
Weekend was good.
I know it was good and say inside as usual. It's nothing new for you.
Exactly. So while some of y'all having a hard time coping, I'm not, because inside it's like
I'm on that time I sleep and wake up for the weekend.
I think I didn't have to sleep a weekend because I map out my weekends and things that I have to do, like laundry, clean my room,
I was like, kiss the
pack
floor by me
away
now.
my drawers. So I know there's people who are having a hard time coping, but for those of us who are introverts and we like inside, yeah. It's funny you saying that because I was talking to a very dear friend of mine on Saturday. And she was saying that she was worried or concerned about me in terms of, being there. I'm like, listen, this is like
regular programming for you.
Not just regular programming. I'm actually like, not you don't have to force yourself to go somewhere you don't want to go. Or just be there for being their sake. Listen, I think the world needed to pause for a while. We've been going full speed ahead, and oftentimes
pause again.
There's still people who haven't slowed down, regardless of they're still going based on what they do, and still find an opportunity to be outside and do whatever. There are still some folks who the lifestyles probably changed up a little. Some for some a lot, for some neither here nor there. So lots of folks are reacting to this period in different ways. But the important thing is to, regardless, to still check up on people, and appreciate her checking in to make sure, even though I say I'm good, to make sure that I'm good, So, good morning, beautiful people. I like that. Rose and Simon, good morning. Linda Pearl, good morning. Dale Neptune, hope you guys are having a good morning. Let me just, did that notification pop up? All right, let me just give you guys a couple minutes to come on into the room, because we got a lot to talk about in a little time. Naphtali Vincent, I like that name, Naphtali. Did I pronounce it right? Nap or Naf? Naphtali Vincent. Good morning, Della. Hope I pronounced it. Y'all are creeping in this morning. What's going on? Is there something else happening? Good morning, Ian Baker. Good morning, Johnson Robert, the man with the two surname. Johnson Robert. It's two surname. Johnson is the surname. Robert is the surname. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning. Yeah, they're crawling in slow this morning. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. But anyways, it's Monday, start of another week. The ladies' room. Good morning, Deidre. Good morning, Jenny, Marisha. Happy Monday, y'all, wherever you are. Jenalyn Andel, good morning. So nice of you guys to join us. And of course, good morning, Hermelin. Good morning. Good morning, Deborah. So nice of you to join us this morning. We have a lot to talk about, like I said, and on Mondays we started doing this sort of roundup, things that probably happened on the weekend, and set the tone for the week. Monday to just jump into man and woman business. Oh gosh, y'all used to force me with that, like Monday morning.
Right, and early
Monday morning, need to hear about all your stress and all your relationship issues. So we're gonna mosey into that from Tuesdays and Mondays. Just feel the pulse as to what's happening. I think it's time that we really got serious and put a lot of things in perspectives. This isn't a situation where one person have all the answers, because, like we say, things are. Lord, I didn't even invite my people. Things are evolving as we speak, so it's important that we move with it. We can't just keep on doing the same things and expecting different results. And to me, that is what we've been doing. And it is not to pelt stones behind anybody or to, discredit what anybody has done, because folks have been. Oh, how many of you already here? Or am I sending you this again? To discredit what anybody has been doing or what have you. But I think there's more that needs to be done in this period. And we have to change the conversation, because if you realize, it's not only Grenada that is upping arms about vaccinations or being vaccinated. We're not. There are lots of people who are against it. So, like I said, we can't keep on we can't keep on doing things the same way and expect a different results. At this point, we've got to come to the conclusion or realization that there are people who aren't in favor of it. While there are others, for whatever reason, did it, we have to understand there are people who are against it. And we can't keep on forcing people to drink that water. They don't want to drink it, they don't want to drink it. Maybe they'll come around. But I think now the conversation needs to be focused on protection and safety because people aren't buying into the vaccine will protect me or it will make my symptoms or whatever, it will make it less than if I were not vaccinated. A lot of people aren't buying into that. They just don't believe it. And I think that now is the time for us to change the conversation somewhat, still keeping the vaccine option on the table. But I think it's time that we change the conversation as to how we can protect ourselves. Because on Friday, press conference, by now you'd have understood where we at. We have community spread, right? And even though somebody rushes to take the vaccine, you still have to give it some time to be effective. You take it today doesn't mean tomorrow you're good, you're safe. So with the new variant that we have and we hear how bad it is and how much danger it can be in a short space of time, we can't continue to have the vaccination conversations dominating, the conversation. We need to know, to me, and that is my personal opinion, start looking at how we can get people to protect themselves, take personal responsibility for themselves, how you can be boost your immune system, some of the things you can eat, some of the things you can do, whether it's exercising, whatever the case might be. I think we need to have more of that and more doctors, especially the doctors who don't believe in vaccines. They're all them seeing from the doctors who don't support the vaccines is, all the information against it. But I'm not seeing information from them saying, okay, this is what you should do if you're not one of those who believe in vaccination. Here is an alternative method to not being vaccinated. Let's start looking at what we eat. Let's start looking at our lifestyle, the amount of alcohol we consume, not exercising, what have you. I really think that is where the conversation should be right now. Because, like I said, it's all over the world. Not only Grenada is against vaccination, there are people around the world, even though they've seen it firsthand, how people are affected, how many people died, how many people are hospitalized, hospital running out of beds, people are lying on the floor. There's just against it. So we can't continue to keep pushing it at people who are resisting it. And the message continues to be the same. I was listening to a program on the weekend, and, one of the guests made a very important point. The messaging has to change. Maybe the people, and we hate it or like it, politics has a lot to do with the current state of affairs and people for or against it. Now we need to take that as away, and people who you put new faces, people who have no affiliations, are not known to be affiliated with anybody, but they're totally unbiased, and this is the facts that they're presenting, to start doing more work and remove some of the faces that you're seeing, because for some reason people don't trust, they don't believe, even if they're preaching the word from God and they're saying we spoke to God last night and this is direct word, because it's coming from that person, they're not buying into it. So we probably need to change it. Look at other people who can influence, look at other people who people will trust, look at other doctors who are not into any political wrangling, what have you, and get them to have that conversation. What say you?
I totally agree with you. And right, just this morning I was having a conversation with someone, and that word you used there came up a lot: trust. Because imagine you have a country where people are going so far as to saying or thinking that we're making up numbers. That just shows you how serious the trust issue is. And right now in this situation, I honestly feel it for not only my industry as entertainment, but look now, a lot of persons have to go home because restaurants and bars and so on are closing, and now that we feel like we just started to get that sense of, all right, things are happening, we're gonna get there, we keep the faith, keep firm. And now it just took an entire 360 and went back. So now we have to do takeout and stuff again. And I mean, I've spoke to a couple of them and they're saying, well, Kareem, they say take the vaccine, we took the vaccine. They say put a book at the entrance, take the log, sanitize. We did all of that. We had new additional staff to take care of the sanitizing station. And now we have to suffer because persons are still not doing what they have to do. So it's kind of unfair. I'll just say this. It is unfair for those of you who are still not following the protocols, who are still not being vaccinated. It is unfair to the persons who are trying to walk the straight and narrow in this fight. So I mean, I all I could say is I just want you to probably just take a minute when you decide to walk in the street without your mask, or when you decide to put the wrong name and wrong number, or when you decide to not probably get vaccinated or boost your immunity so that you will not be affected as well. Just take a minute and probably think about a family right now, a parent that can't put food on the table, or probably go and buy a computer now that we have online learning and all of that, a parent that cannot provide for that child right now. Just think about it and maybe you'll have a change of heart, but it's sad right now. And like you said, I think trust has a lot to do with this COVID-19 fight, so message needs to change, yes, but also the messenger as well has a big part to do with it.
Dr. Bob is on the live. Thanks so much, Dr. Bob, for your contribution. And he has a very good point. He says, may I suggest that the government of Grenada enlist Dr. Francis Martin as their vaccine communications, and that will be responsible for engaging and educating the national community and the benefits, risk, and the science behind inoculations in general. I've had the chance to speak to the goodly gentleman, speak on several occasions, and he resonates well with the Grenadian populace. The current messaging and communication strategy needs a serious makeover in order to increase vaccination rates, and I completely agree. You made a couple points as well, Kareem, that I made note of that I wanted to touch as well. And one of the things we saw coming out of the press conference on Friday was that of changes to the restaurants. And honestly, I don't, I really don't get it. I honestly didn't see the need for takeout services only at this point. Because, like you rightly said, to me, out of all the different sectors, out of all the different businesses, they've had to do a lot in terms of making sure that the environment is safe for folks coming in. Let me just use Victory Bar for example. By the time you get there, you have to sign in twice: the entry, and then before you enter the restaurant, and then you have to sanitize. And the tables are set in a way that it's more than 6 feet apart. And the servers come to you with their mask on and everything. Some have even taken the steps of using technology. You no longer have the menus in your hand. Instead, you scan it, and it's on your phone, and you're able to select from there instead of menus people touch, pass it around, touch, and that could increase the spread. They've gone through a number of measures to ensure the safety of their staff as well as their clients and what have you. So I really didn't understand why. I really was looking for other measures. That's when I heard it, I was like, okay, but I was trying to understand the rationale behind that part, because to me it is better controlled. Those areas are better controlled. Restaurants are better controlled environment. You don't just walk in and go anywhere. They direct you. Plus, some of them have, you can test your temperature. Of course, they also have to test your temperature. So they check your temperature, you sign in, you sanitize, and you're sitting at tables, with distancing. So I honestly didn't get why the need for restaurants to be closed. Now and there's also, a lot of folks talking about, the whole bus situation, people still, and while one has to understand that, when we first got COVID compared to now, there's a lot we didn't know then that we know now. A lot have changed. And one of the reasons I heard was, if people sit on the bus with their mask on, they're sanitized and they're not talking, and they'll pretty much be okay. But we have to be careful because it's a sort of balancing act. Saving lives and also livelihoods. How do we meet each other halfway? Because at the end of the day, yes, we have to save lives, but your bills aren't on hold. You still have to eat, still have to go to the supermarket. And for those of us to go to the supermarket, we can clearly see what's happening. You'll buy something for $2 today, tomorrow you go it's $3. You'll buy $3 tomorrow, the next day you go it's 5. Prices are increasing rapidly. So there has to be a balancing act in terms of saving lives and also livelihoods. How do we do it? How do we
Hmm.
and I really, really feel for those folks who are in that sector because they've had to do a lot. Some have even had some didn't even want to take the vaccine, but because
I was just
you
about
know
to
what,
say
I
that, yeah,
need my job, I got
because you know,
family, let me take this vaccine. And now it's takeout services only. And if it's takeout services only,
20
you don't
staff
need
reduced to
servers.
5. Mm-hmm.
So okay, these folks are going home. Was a time cap given for how long they'll be at home?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we were just told that from Saturday, takeout services only at restaurants and what was the other change? And the
Restaurant and
school
bars.
and restaurant and schools. Not reopening at the date. So it's I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
Zero says that
S-
Sam says restaurants and hotels are now suffering when they were promised that getting um their staff vaccinated would ensure that they get back to normal. They were and are some of the biggest advocates for vaccinations, and now
mhm,
they're the ones suffering first. I mean, and I think that the folks that who've been spearheading this drive, and I keep on seeing it time and time again, you guys have been doing a good job. There's no, we can't deny that. We've been trying very hard to keep it at bay, and there's only so long or so much we could do. Now that the horse bolted from the stable, we're looking at community spread. A lot of the messaging has to change because we have to get somebody who could break it down to the ordinary man. Not everybody is.
mhm,
We have to take those people into consideration. And most of the terms used, even me myself have to pull up on my phone and Google sometimes, you know? And where I'm at now, it's because I literally took my phone and just started looking for information, researching information because there are a lot of things that they say daily that I don't understand. I just didn't get. So imagine me not getting it. What makes you? What about the other person?
mhm,
There's a lot of legal jargons. There's a lot of terms scientists use that they're speaking in the language they know. We don't understand that language. Where is the other person who's going to break down that language so that other people understand instead of every time you hear, okay, just be vaccinated?
mhm,
And if someone is saying, well, I don't want to get vaccinated because I've heard so and so, who is there to explain to them in the simplest terms as possible what this means or what that means? People keep hearing the word herd immunity. They don't even understand what that means. Someone was asking, well, what does that mean? You know? So I think that's what we need to get. Someone says they see their doctor friends on Facebook or wherever, but not everybody's on Facebook. We need to get beyond just the social media platforms. Start using radio stations, get people who can speak the language that the ordinary man on the street would understand, and
mhm,
not, the degrees and the scientists and the this and the that. They're only going to come speak to us in the language they know. And I think a lot of the hesitancy has to do with not being informed.
mhm,
And some would say, well, there are avenues available for information, but when you send those people to those avenues, they're just reading, they still don't understand it because, like I said, the scientists are speaking in the language that they understand. So even myself, when I looked at some of the information, I sat there and I had to, like, literally scratching my head, like, what?
mhm,
And finding out what certain words mean and what context is being used and all those things. So, Ministry of Health, I think this is where we're at now. Like we said, it's been a year, almost 2 years, almost gonna be 2 years. We've been having this conversation. Initially, the social distancing, wearing your mask, and sanitizing was all we knew. There were no vaccinations then. You heard talks of it, and that came later on. I'm happy that this morning I saw more people wearing their mask, and I'm thankful for that. Last week I was complaining that walking around St. George and you're still seeing people no mask, nothing, or it's hanging below their chin. But honestly, this morning, literally everyone I met just driving through had their mask up and over their faces. So at least that part of the message seems to be getting through. The
Yeah.
need to wear mask and sanitize or what have you.
But I mean, going back to that trust issue as well, Aruna, a lot has to do with it because at the end of the day, I think we need to start giving people things straight. You
Oh,
know?
stick up in. Jackie saying Satya's busmen don't know about sanitizing nor wearing masks. I wish I could walk to my destination. And that takes us back to
Wow.
again earlier on when we had the buses literally having to sanitize every time they got to the bay, docking bay, they had to sanitize. You come off, you sanitize, you go on, you sanitize. And the buses had to be cleaned after every trip. And that seemed to have gone out the window. So
And we definitely gotten complacent in a lot of areas. But going back to that trust issue, like I was saying, I think a lot has to do with it. We need to start just giving people the information straight as it is. You know, it's not like you're trying to sell a vehicle, you tell the man, yeah, everything good. And then 2 weeks later, you had to go and buy transmission parts. So, like for example, I say that to say, first of all, it was take the jab for jab. Then you hear no carnival, so the people watch that. You tell the
but y'all
promote,
didn't take the
you
jab.
tell, what?
Jab. Listen, 20%.
Jab.
20%. When they say take the jab
The
for jab, they
jab.
were looking at least 80%.
Yeah, but Aruna, the
It wasn't
point.
enough
Oh,
to
but
it
hold
wasn't
on,
enough
but
to
hold
get
on.
jab.
But
But y'all took the jab regardless.
took the jab for jab, you understand? And then, saying to promoters, okay, you guys advocate for the vaccination, we're gonna have events and stuff like that. Now look what happened, right? You also told the restaurants and restaurant owners and so on, do this, do that, do that. Now look what happened. Everybody's suffering. So just give it to us straight. Tell us you guys need to take the vaccine to be protected. Full stop. Not take the vaccine and then da 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 da. You don't know the future. You don't know what's gonna happen. Clearly, so let's just give people the information straight. Let them make their decision. Let's stop filtering the information, adding to it, all of that. Let's just give it to people straight. Say, Grenadians, this is this. If y'all don't do this is the consequences, and y'all have to live with it. End of press conference. That's it. Because now we have a situation whereby it's like you say one thing and then you have to come back and change it, come back and change it, come back and change it. So that's where the whole trust thing ties in. That's why now we need new faces to give us the information because
Someone here is saying, good morning, Aruna and Kareem. I must record my support for the sentiments expressed regarding COVID-19 outbreak here in Grenada. I wish the authorities would listen to the wise words. The messages has to change to suit our current dilemma. Have we considered that in recent times, a common cold isn't so common anymore? That should give us some hope in dealing with the current outbreak. It's like every other virus disease, everything went out the door with the onset of COVID. You can't even have the flu, you can't even sniffle, because as soon as you have a little sniffle, you're thinking it's COVID. But in case, guys, you just tuned in and you're not up to speed with what's happening, we had another new 40 COVID cases recorded yesterday, and the total number of active cases is now 164, with 155 being locals. 4 persons are currently hospitalized, and Grenada's total confirmed cases to date now stands at 357. So, if we're doing the math and we're following the science, you can automatically understand what's happening here, because it seems every time we have some numbers, every time a new batch tests, we get a new results. You're hearing 29, 30, 40, and it keeps going up. So that means from that 40, next set of tests we get, you could expect to hear another 40 or another 50, right? Because for one, these people probably mingled with other people, probably asymptomatic, probably didn't know, or probably heard of somebody who has it, so they're sort of concerned. Now, we're hearing that if you think you have the virus, or you think you've come in contact with someone who might be positive, to isolate yourself and call the COVID hotline. I've had people reaching out to me on the weekend saying it's 4, 5, 6 days they're waiting to see somebody, for somebody to come test them, for to get a call back. They're constantly, and it's since King Hatchet was a hammer, we've been speaking about this COVID hotline number. And we talk about it, press conferences, we bring it up, we raise the issue with the minister and the CMO. The COVID hotline number needs more people to man those telephones. It's supposed to be like a call center, 24-hour. It should not be a 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 where you call certain times and you can't find. Somebody says they called and somebody in the hospital responded or something like that. The COVID hotline should be used, should be available 24/7. It should be like a call center. Someone says they called a medical station on Friday and they told on Saturday and they told them that they don't, so they'll have to wait till Monday. So it's business hours. So in that space of time, you probably meet other people, you've talked to other people, you've passed it on to other people. Listen, I'm not sure if y'all understand the gravity of the situation. But
Power 95, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Something that just crossed my mind, right?
Mhm.
There is also a bad flu is going on, right? Going around. And if you come down with flu-like symptoms, it must say that it's COVID you have. But once they swab you, isn't it going to show positive for COVID? And it must be because there is a bad cold going on too. So the numbers that we are hearing, I'm not trying to to doubt it or anything, but how accurate it is? Is it all COVID or it have the common cold, the cold that is going around right now? So this is just plain on my mind.
Got you. Because the thing is, they have similar symptoms, runny nose, what have you. So until you get tested, you don't know which one you've got. So it's like everybody just isolate once you hear, once you recognize you have those symptoms.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks so
Okay,
much.
then, thanks.
All right. So that's the thing, you can't even sneeze. I'm telling you. And another thing too is people. Why would you go to an establishment and there's a book for logging in purposes and contact tracing purposes, and you'll sign your name as Mr. Dog? Because the thing is, when most of these establishments don't really have somebody manning the books. It's like the book is at the entrance, they probably have a security guard somewhere, you peep at him and see that he's watching you, so you scribble something and you move on. People are literally putting all sorts of funny names, no numbers, wrong numbers, and it's like, what is wrong with us? What is it gonna take for people to understand the gravity of the situation? Why would you call you Mr. Dog, no address, Mr. Dog lives nowhere, Mr. Dog have no contact number? Like, seriously? Mr. Dog, no contact number, no address. But
so that just goes to show you the level of seriousness, So I guess until we take it to another level and really understand the gravity of this whole situation, then I guess we're going to be stuck here for a while,
As someone saying, the common cold or flu will not show up as COVID unless tested. Just be cautious. That's right. Just isolate yourself until you're tested. If you have the symptoms, you don't know what it is. Don't know what it is until you get that test. So just remain in isolation until you do. At some point, we have to understand that, hey, it was only so long, we would be at 0 cases, and here we are now at a point that I wish we would never be, but we are. And like I said, it can't be business as usual. We can't just keep doing the same things and expect different results. We have to change the conversation. We have to change the way we communicate the information, and we have to meet people at where they are. Not everybody is tech savvy. Not everybody is educated. Not everybody, is up there, the way we'd like them to be. So at some point, we need to start having that conversation. And as Dr. Bob suggested, using somebody who speaks the language, who the ordinary man on the street would understand. who's able to, we can connect with. Because all for now, it's just like Bacchanal Central. Like, it's just confusion and people angry and people going off on each other and, just, just frustration and people enraged at certain information they're hearing and who's it coming from. And, then you throw politics in the mix and then it's just a big bowl of callaloo soup. And where we at now, this isn't the time to be playing. It's not. There's no time for games right now. We're at 164 active cases, 164, with 155 being locals. All right, and we expect those numbers to rise. I don't know what are we waiting on to get more serious about it and to start putting measures in place. Calling for a lockdown 24/7. Like I said, we have to play the balancing act, life and livelihood. But at the end of the day, one thing I'm getting out of all of this before we go is the need for personal responsibility. To me, that is the word that should be used more than vaccine. Personal responsibility. Being responsible for yourself and your family members, it's on you. We can't appoint a police officer or appoint a security guard over everybody to make sure they're doing the right thing, to make sure they're sanitizing, to make sure that they're wearing their mask properly. We can't. So the onus is on you to take responsibility for yourself. It is here, and we have to go with it. We have to deal with it. We have to learn to live with it. Calling for a lockdown every time there's an outbreak isn't the answer. We have to get to a point where we understand that, hey, we have to live with this because this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Every time you think it's going, you're hearing no variant. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. We have to learn to live with it. And if you do, the quicker we get to that understanding, the quicker we'll change a lot of things, the way we do things, and you know, take better care of ourselves. Right? Anything else before we go, Kareem?
I just urging everyone to be safe, right? You know the protocols, so do what you have to do. And I'm also wanna take this opportunity as well to just appeal to drivers on the road as well. Some of them are doing the night rushing and all of that, trying to get home, but please exercise that level of caution, right? We had another fatality just on Saturday night, unfortunate, with the biker that lost his life. So just urging everyone to just please be careful. If you know you have to go far, whatever, just leave it enough time to get to your home before 9. All right, and let us just keep doing what we have to do just to keep everyone safe during these times.
Alrighty. Thanks so much, guys, for checking in as always. Thank you for your contribution and adding to the conversation. Appreciate it, and looking forward to another program tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much to our friends at Beacon Insurance, Western Union, and Holly Barange for making our ladies' room possible this morning. We'll catch you again tomorrow for another one. Have a good Monday, y'all. Stay safe, wear your mask, and don't forget to sanitize, wash your hands. All right?